Okay. 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 That's okay. While you're doing that, Tracy, you can hear everything. Everything's good.
I can hear you. Yeah.
You can hear me now, or could you before?
No, I can hear you.
But
We're good.
okay.
I
Okay,
just can't see
Tracy,
you.
we have a show right now, and Tracy's running it off my Zoom, so I just wanted to make sure that she was good.
You need
Yes,
to make me.
it's not going to interfere. I was just getting it going for them.
You need to make me the host.
Can't hear me. Can you hear me?
You need to make me the host.
Okay, okay, hold on. Tracy, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, you shouldn't be able to hear me. Okay.
It's
All
okay.
right.
Once you get yourself, mute yourself on your end, mute yourself and turn the
For some
video off.
reason, I
But you
can't
gotta.
hear you.
Oh, I'm on. So you need to make
Yeah,
me the
I can
host.
hear you. I'm trying to get them set. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to get them set up at the same time. I'm as bad as your grocery girl. Oh, make her the host. Okay, that's what I needed to do. Okay. Okay, make her the host. Okay, and when Hani jumps on, okay. Can I hear you now, sweetie?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
I still can't hear you.
Okay, I can hear you.
Hold on. I can't hear you because I turned my sound off. Can I hear you?
Yes, I think you can.
Okay, I think you're good. I just have to watch for Hani to come on, and I think you guys are great. Good to go.
Okay, so I can only go live on Facebook here. I can't do your whole thing. You have to do that. Like the whole way you go online.
Yeah, Live Leap should have, and I didn't see it come on.
Okay, yeah, I don't see Live Leap, so and I don't know how to do it from here.
Oh, I know why. Hold on.
But Hani is here, so I can
Oh.
promote to panelist. Okay. That was what I was worried about not being able to promote him to panelist.
Why is it not allowing me to go live to Facebook?
Because you made me the host. Take back the host.
Oh, okay. Let me take back the host here real quick. I'm sorry. I'm supposed to be paying absolute attention to you, Bonnie.
I'm making you the host now.
Okay. All right. So let me try now. Live on Facebook. Wait, no. Live on Facebook.
And then I don't know, maybe you can make me a co-host. Try that.
I'll do that, but then I think I have to turn my sound down again.
Yep, that's fine. Turn yourself off. Turn your video and your sound off.
Okay. Oh, you don't want to see me?
Well, I'll just make it, I mean, it'll be easier.
Wait a minute. Share to a group, share to a page. Okay. I'm almost done, Bonnie. I'm sorry.
Hi, Annie. How are you?
Okay, we're going to mark.
I can't hear you.
Okay, so it's streaming live.
There we go.
Now we can hear you. Good.
Stupid mute. The mute button on my microphone is always on by default. And I'm like, talking. I'm like, no, what's going on? Anyways, I said, good to see you again.
Good to see you too. Did you survive and didn't get sick from traveling to the show?
No, I didn't get sick.
Play with me.
It was fine. It was all fine. It was just exhaustion, but hopefully it wasn't.
That is an exhausting show.
It is. It is. Sorry, I'm just gonna move this chair.
Okay. All right, you guys, I'm going live, and I'll get myself out of here. Okay, thank you, Bonnie, for being so patient.
Okay. Hey, everyone. I am so excited to talk with you today. And Juliet's going to be on, but she's disappearing briefly. And so
I don't.
Oh,
no,
you're not.
I don't.
You're still on. Okay, it says I'm the co-host. Woohoo! Yay! Okay, good. So we're doing something different. Juliet's setting us up, getting us started, but she's got to go do another show, and that leaves us
Wow.
really making sure that we are keeping things rolling. So today we're going to talk about repurposing, and it is my favorite subject because I hate to waste time. I hate to do something and then not get enough value from the time that I spent. I don't know about you out there, but that's kind of my driver behind everything. And we've got an expert, and I love the name of this company because repurpose.io, really like great website, great name, love it all. Hani Moura, you are a dad, a softwarepreneur, and the creator of repurpose.io. You've got it. It's an easy to use automation tool. Scott Carson has been talking about it with us on the show. Juliet uses it. You help entrepreneurs, coaches, and content creators maximize their exposure without spending hours publishing to multiple platforms. That's why we love podcasting on my side, because we're distributing to multiple platforms at once. Let's do this with video too. Let's do this with more content. And that's what you guys do in an automated way. So I'm so excited you're here to talk about this, Hani. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
No, my pleasure. I'm excited to be here too. It's my favorite topic. I eat, live, breathe, sleep, repurposing stuff. I mean, that and the whole fact that it's automated, just, yeah, excited.
Yay,
Super excited. I
exciting.
love it. I love it, love it, love it.
So tell me a little bit about how you got started and why you developed repurpose.io.
Yeah, it's a long story, so I'm going to condense it down. I'll try to do the condensed version. If I ramble too much, just cut me off and I'll skip over a
Keep
couple
going.
years.
Let's hear
But
it.
if we like rewind back 6.5, 7 years ago, basically I'm a big video guy. As a kid growing up, I love video, and then I started video blogging about teaching about video, because that's what I like talking about. But I'm a software engineer. I went to school for computer engineering. Anyway, one day it just dawned on me. I was like, you know what, this blogging thing is cool, but I need to create a software. Like, this is what I'm born to do. Like, I'm a software engineer, so it's got to be a software, and it's got to be about video. And that's all I knew. And I was excited. Like, deep inside, I felt it. So I was like, all right, this is it. Didn't know what it was. A few months later, I just said, oh, you know what do I do all the time? It's annoying. And it turned out to be that I was posting videos on YouTube and then putting them on my blog. And that was this annoying thing. Every time I posted a video on YouTube, I had to go and make a blog post and copy the embed code and yada, yada, yada. Long story short, I said, you know what? I'm going to make a plugin, add-on for WordPress. Just does it for me automatically. I don't want to do it anymore. So you upload a video on YouTube, it puts it on your blog. And that's how it all started.
I love that. I love what you're saying there, because this is like the driver for me to do anything. Like if it's like repetitive,
yes,
I am bored already. Like just the second time doing it, I'm already bored. So I love that you like took that further and said, I've got skills. I can create automation. Let me do that.
Yeah. So it did that. And I was like, and I partnered up with somebody. We got it out to an audience that's, a bunch of YouTubers out there, and they loved the idea, and that just kind of fueled the fire. A year later, that same business partner was launching a podcast, and he said, you know what, why don't you do the same thing for podcasting? Take podcasts and put them on your blog automatically, automate that stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's a brilliant idea. So we kind of respun the software into another software, and it was for podcasting. And then a couple of years later, Facebook Live was the thing. And well, it still is the thing. It came out, and it's like, hey, it would be cool to take Facebook Lives or any Facebook video and just automatically make a blog post, embed all the comments. And again, it was just spun up as another product for WordPress. And, just growing its user base of people like loving the fact that they can automate content to their blog. And it was like, man, this is magical. This is awesome. I love what you're doing. You're saving me so much time. And then I started getting people saying, I love that you're doing WordPress, but it'd be cool if you can go from one platform to another platform, like maybe a Facebook Live to YouTube automatically, or a audio podcast onto YouTube in video format. Can you do that? I was like, no, it's not possible. And then just got it enough times that I thought, you know what, I need to dive into this. Like, it was new territory for me about 3 years ago. But then just kind of tinkered into it. I said, you know what, I'm gonna solve this problem. That's really what it boiled down to. And that's how Repurpose was born. It was just addressing, people who had this need to automate even further.
Well, this is the thing, is like, I think people they overlook so often the things that naggingly bug us that are repetitive in our businesses, and we don't build automation around them fast enough. So we get kind of complacent and used to it, even though we're like constantly complaining, oh God, I have to do this again. Or we put it off, we procrastinated about it. Like those are the two areas when we really procrastinate about something, or like when we just spend too much time doing it and we don't really recognize when we're in the weeds of that this is something that could be taken care of by a software, by a service, by something. And we don't even go out there and look for it first. Like, so, most people don't even go out there and say, does this exist already? And is there somebody out there doing this? And that's the first step, like just reaching out and going out and finding out that there's this stuff. So that's what I love with Scott Carson. And Scott Carson's always out there is like, I want to do the least amount of work and I want to get the most value from it. What is out there that I should try? And he's out there and he's testing and trying new things. And he loves your program and he loves what you guys do there because it's so efficient. And I think that has to do with the fact that you guys are users too. And I really believe that deep down that informs
content creator. Like this is like a tool this is like my dream tool. I built it for myself. I didn't build it for myself, but this is something that I'm using and I would continue to use because I love it. Like this is something that I've always needed. I've always wanted. And now I had a reason because people asked me. I had a reason to build it. I mean, I say but it's a team, right? We're a team. It's not like me coding everything. I hardly touch the code anymore.
That's a really great place to be, right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, but it's great. Our team's growing and the software really started, honestly, the repurpose software started had two objectives. Had one objective, then it quickly became two. It's the first objective, take an audio podcast, convert into a video. And that was something that was tedious. It still is tedious if you don't have the right tools. But right. It's, 3 years ago, it was just like, how do we do this? Like it wasn't an easy way to do it. It wasn't like a one-click button or 0 clicks actually in Repurpose. We made it super easy 3 years ago. And that was our mission. Like Repurpose was taking audio to video to YouTube. And that was the focus. And then then Facebook Live users were like, hey, I noticed people are asking, man, how do I download a Facebook Live after I'm done? I want to put it on YouTube. How do I do that? How do I do that? And then we're like, let's make that our second feature because people kept doing it over and over again. And they hated the fact that they couldn't find the link. They didn't know where to download the Facebook Live after they were done. So we added that Facebook Live to YouTube. And those are the two things that we promoted, we pushed. That was the only two features available. And now it's a whole new product. Like,
well, and I love that you didn't overfeature it. You made it something simple and useful, and then you grew from there as need demand, as demand came in, as your clients were saying, hey, I keep doing this, can you do that? And so you then start building in. I love that process of demand coming before your features development. I call that. You come from the coding world and you come from software area, and there's this thing about minimum viable product, and I hate that term. I hate it. I like to think of it as maximum valuable product, still MVP. Yeah, but if you're building in the maximum valuable features, the things that are in the most demand, then you already have a built-in audience. You have people willing to pay for this. You don't go out there, build something and can go, do people want it? And 9 times out of 10, you find out they don't want it. That's what happens in a minimum viable product world. So I love that you're going with putting that demand first. And so the demand drives your thinking and your process. And you are vetting it though. You're still checking against is this a universal need? Because at the end of the day, if it's a very niche need, you might be letting your top, your top 1% and only the 1%ers who really use the tool leading your development, and you can get over featured quickly.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, even from the beginning with the WordPress plugins, when we first started, we got the idea, we launched a beta group, 20 people. That's it. We got 20 people who's in, the 20 people raised their hand, 16 people used the product in our private Facebook group. And that's how we knew, all right, out of the 20 people, 16 were actively using and giving us feedback. We're on to something. Let's keep going with it. Yeah. So we tested early, even with 20 people in a beta group. And even when we launched Repurpose 3 years ago, we launched it to our customers. We said, all right, you already have the plugin. We're launching a new service, new product. Let us know if you're interested. And we asked for a little bit of money just to kind of see if people are willing to pay for this product. And again, we got 25 people raise their hand on a webinar, and they paid a little bit of money, and they were the early founders. And we had one-on-one calls for an hour. It took pages of notes from each person. It was amazing. And I met so many people, but I also learned so much. So yeah, it's a cycle, it's iterative cycle, but it's all driven by content creators, by users, and what they want, and and the key is what they want to automate. What they want,
Well,
what don't they want to do anymore, basically.
what don't they want to do? Like,
what
so
don't
much.
they want to do?
Let me tell
And
you, so much. Yeah, right. Exactly. Because, I think, like, this is what I found over the years is like the stuff that because I have zero patience for repetitive tasks, like some of the best innovation comes from that. And you found that too. So let's tell people really how it works. Because I think that it still seems intimidating to people to like the ones who can't find the 3 little buttons where you're, the 3 little dots where you're going to download the Facebook. Like even the idea of going and registering on your site and figuring that out and setting it up seems intimidating. And it's really not. You've made it very simple. So talk to us about how our process looks from the content creator side.
Okay. So basically it's based on what we call workflows or rules, basically. And the idea is this: you make a set of rules in our software, and a rule, just you answer 3 questions. The rule is, what content am I taking? That's number 1. Let's say audio podcast. What is your action? What do you want to do with that content? You want to convert it into a video? You want to convert it into an audio? Or do you want to just upload that video as it is to a different platform? So those are the 3 actions: video to audio, or video to video. Just pass the video through. And then the last step is, where do you want to send it to? Like, for example, YouTube. So a typical case, like probably our biggest use case is podcasters. They have an audio content. They want to go from audio to video to YouTube. That's what they want to do. So that would be one workflow. Yeah. And then basically you create as many workflows as you want based on where you want to send it to. So you can make another one that says, take an audio to YouTube, audio to video to LinkedIn, audio to video to Twitter, audio video to
Instagram.
Maybe Instagram. Well, we can't publish directly to Instagram. But you can send it to your Dropbox folder where you can kind of manually upload it.
Right.
Yeah, because they're kind of tight.
They're still on the, like, you have to mobily do it, right? Like you need a trigger.
Actually, Facebook Creator Studio, if you're not using that, anybody out there not using facebook.com/creator studio, it lets you schedule video content on IG and IGTV right from your desktop. So you don't even need to do it on your phone anymore.
Awesome.
Bonus
right?
tip, yeah.
All these wonderful tips and all these things. And this is the thing is, so we get this idea in our head that it's like manual labor to distribute our content. And yet there are these distribution and repurposing platforms that really help us. I mean, this is why we do it for our clients here at Podetize. Like, we set up and distribute to all the audio platforms, right? So it's already set up. And most people get hung up on this, like, oh my gosh, I have to learn how to submit my podcast to iTunes. But you're going to do it once. And if you've got someone who will just do it for you, you should just let that happen. This is the same thing with you guys. If you've got someone who's going to submit a workflow, they're going to walk you through all the process of how to connect your YouTube up. You do that once and you never do it again.
That's right. I mean, you brought up a good point. Repurpose. I mean, what you said about audio distribution, that's like, people ask us, oh, how are you different than my podcast host sends it all to my channels, Spotify and iTunes. And we actually, Repurpose is designed to work to complement that. The podcast hosts or podcast services will get you connected onto Spotify and iTunes. But Repurpose itself, think of it as a social media tool. So it's designed to get your audio content into video so that you can share it and get exposure on social media, not the podcast directory. So they work hand in hand.
Right. And this is what you guys out there need to hear this, because a lot of you who don't do live streams as your first start of it. So if you're out there and you're doing video, but you're not live streaming that video, you don't have that social share component. But you can create that by utilizing Repurpose. So you can create that idea of it going and creating a video, an event. It's going on at this moment, at this time. And so you have an ability to start scheduling out your video into your social media at that same time, as the same kind of model. So because I have this thing where I record my podcast so far out in advance. Like, if I live streamed it, I'd live stream like 5 in a day. So we don't want to do that. Obviously, we want to pace ourselves and move it out. Repurpose and other tools, that sort of idea of scheduling your social allows you to still utilize your video that you're capturing it anyway, because we're doing it on Zoom. You might as well use that for your social purposes too, because audio is not, and I repeat this to so many people who don't understand, there are no ways to post just audio in any social media right now. You can't even post audio into a Medium article. Just audio. You have to turn it into a video.
Video, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Facebook tinkered with the idea of audio, like go live streaming just audio only. I don't know if I think it may still be available to some people, but it never caught on. And
it never caught on, and it's not working there now. But I have been in talks with someone who works directly on the Facebook team, who's working on some podcasting things. So it may come back in a different way, and that's because they really didn't understand the media.
Mm-hmm. I think to me, like I look at it as this: like you have people who prefer to consume content on the go, right? You have people go to the gym, people who walk, people who drive a lot. They can't be on Facebook, or I mean, they could technically play a video on Facebook or on YouTube and let it stream through their car. Okay, it's fine, but the most convenient method is audio. Right? So having an audio podcast on an audio platform where they can subscribe right from their phones. It's designed for that kind of interaction, audio interaction. Podcasts are amazing for that. But on social media, they have to be videos. They have to be something that when someone's scrolling, they at least stop for a second, stop enough to let the video start playing. Even if the video is, it has some moving dynamics, moving components, it's technically still a static image, but the fact that you caught their attention with the title, with some kind of graphic, some face that they recognize, it would cause them to stop. So the way I look at it, social media is meant to allow you to be in people's feeds regularly. So if you're posting a weekly show, you can easily make a weekly show into 5 or 6 posts throughout the week. You can take out 1-minute clips from each episode and make a little video out of them and post them every day of the week. So you're in their feed every day, you're giving value to people, but you still ultimately think if once they get to know you and they click on your profile, they learn more about you, they learn about your show. If they want to subscribe to your show, they're going to follow through and subscribe on an audio format.
And I think it's really like repurposing is such a good word. Repurpose is such a good word here because we forget ourselves. We get caught up in the novelty of content creation because we're creators, right? So we get caught up in this content creation of like, I need to do something new. But we have a lot of people who just find us and they haven't seen all the old. And so to be looking at that as outdated and non-information, then you didn't do a good job of content creation in the beginning. It should have some amount of timelessness. Now, granted, there's going to be a whole lot of COVID-19 ones that maybe won't be useful until the next pandemic comes around. But, but hopefully, at least right now you might use it. And now new people are finding you. And now it's time to repurpose all that content that they haven't gotten to see that's still really valuable to them and new to them.
Yeah, that's an amazing point. Like, everyone feels like they have to create new content to put out new content, but you don't. I'm sure everybody's got Zoom recordings. Everyone's got video on their hard drive, maybe a video of them doing a talk somewhere or somebody recorded. There's a ton of content that you either created or you have access to that you can take either the full video or just 1 or 2 minute chunks of it and slice it and dice it and just put it on social media. I mean, Repurpose lets you do that, but even if you're not using Repurpose, but the whole idea of taking existing content and putting it out, like you said, no one may have seen that content before. Like some may have, that's fine, but some people are just discovering it for the first time. And
right.
Well, and it also, that's all that matters. If there's value in that content, it doesn't matter.
That's right. If there's value in that content, that's exactly it. But also that I think that looking at it from the standpoint of just because we prefer, like I'm a podcaster first, right? So I'm a podcaster first. I do video all the time, but only because I know that there are people out there who are video watchers. They're not podcast listeners. So I know that if I capture it at this level, then it's easy for me to move it into audio for the podcast listeners. And it's easy for me to turn it into blogs for the bloggers and the people who like to read. So forgetting that just because we happen to have a preferred medium that we love, doesn't mean that everyone out there who could use our skills, who could use our information, consumes in the same way we do. So by not repurposing and moving that audio to video or that video to audio, not repurposing in those methods, we're not really helping the maximum number of people find us.
Yeah, Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I have a, if you want, I can share a screen. I have a quick visual I can talk about just kind of what, if you start with audio here, are like, I think 6 or
Please,
7
yeah,
different pieces of
absolutely.
content.
You know, and while you're pulling that up, I just want people to know that, like, look, the number one thing, if you're a podcaster and you're listening to this out there and you're watching this out there, the number one thing that we discovered from podcasters is that the people who aren't podcast listeners, the majority of them, over 60% of them, can't figure out how to get a podcast, what a podcast is, or where to find it.
Mhm.
But many of them have tripped over it on your website. Or if
Mhm.
you do a video of it, they find you on YouTube. So they don't really realize that they're consuming a podcast just in a repurposed form because they're comfortable there and they don't understand the
They
difference.
don't, yeah,
So,
they
but
don't
you're
need to
capturing
know.
all those people that just don't fundamentally grasp the idea of going on iTunes or Spotify.
Yeah, exactly. Blog, to them, it's a blog post with
Right.
audio in it, right? Or a blog post with video on it. I'm just going to share my screen really quick.
Please. Yeah.
Just if you can confirm that you can see my screen, okay?
We can see it. Yep.
All right, awesome. So really, this is part about repurpose. This screenshot gives you like things you can do with repurpose, but let's not even talk about repurpose software. So I'll just think in general. You start with a piece of audio content. What do you want to do with it? You, like you said, number one. Well, I don't want to get in trouble. I'm not going to say number one. One of the places you should go to, absolutely should go to, is your WordPress site or your blog, where it doesn't have to be
Well, we
WordPress.
say over on my team, we say number one, because actually that's where the greatest value is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You may not realize it, but that's where the greatest value is.
Yeah. I mean, if you have an email list, you have any kind of followers, or you can any kind of traffic to your site, someone can just land on your blog, consume that content without any technical skills, or not, like you said, not even knowing or caring that it's a podcast. It's a piece of content. They land on a page, they
and
click a
the other
link,
thing
and
I
they
want to
listen.
point out that Honey's pointing out here is that the reason why that's also a value, because he just said your email list, is that this is the one place where the subscribers and anyone who listens to it, watches it, does anything with it, interacts with it, they belong to you. You get information on them, where if you're out there on a podcast player, you're out there on YouTube, you're out there in other places, unless they make a direct connection with you, they're not your fans. You don't know who's been watching.
Yeah, and there's a lot of recommendations of adding email opt-in boxes or buttons to capture those people who land on your blog, to capture their email, or even buttons to say, hey, you're a fan of the show, you like this episode, you want to hear more, subscribe to our show. And it opens up their Spotify and directly to your account.
Right.
There's so many
But
ways.
and you don't get demographic information really, you can get it through your Google Analytics mapping over your website. So you can get background information on the people who are trafficking your website, where you cannot always get that on social media.
Absolutely. So yeah, so high priority, number one. I used to say it's number one. I mean, now to me, they're all like, you should be doing all of this. I mean, back
it's
then,
like all
WordPress,
equal.
they're all equal. Like, you need to be doing all this. But if you're not doing your website, that's the easiest to do. There's not much to it. You just take the episode, you copy and paste. If you have to copy and paste a text, we actually have a WordPress plugin I talked about earlier. It does it for you automatically if you're on WordPress. But it's idea is just to put an audio player and copy the text from your podcast episode, and there, boom, you have a blog post. You're good to go. And again, the whole idea is people can watch this, can consume it easily because they click a link and they click play on your site and they start listening. And then it goes all into social. Like, there's a whole debate on whether you should put the full episode. I mean, YouTube is a very sensitive topic. You want to be on YouTube. You want to be there. It's a search engine. It's a powerful search engine. And there's always a debate of, hey, do you want to go full episode because no one's going to listen to the whole episode? Or do you want to do kind of key takeaway clips? I teeter-totter both ways. I
like to do both. We like to do both if you can.
Oh, both. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah. Okay.
If you can. I mean, if you're capable of it, to do clips as well as do full. You think of them like teasers. So.
Yeah, that's true. As long as each nugget's got a little bit of value in it, or something, or not a value, or at least catches your attention so that you want to click through and like listen to the full episode. So you want to go on YouTube, you want to go on Facebook for sure. If you got a Facebook page, I mean, even if you don't have a Facebook page, start a Facebook page and put these videos on your page. And why I say page is because you can do a lot of, down the road, you can do a lot of retargeting, kind of advertising to people who consume your content. Because to Facebook, it's another video. So You can do a lot of interesting things with ads once you have people who watch the video, and you can retarget those kind of people. So Facebook is definitely a good place. If you have a group for your podcast, by all means, why not put it in the group, right? If it's like, these are your like hardcore followers who are like true fans, you can deliver the video content. And the whole idea here is, especially with Facebook, well, actually all of them, is that you're putting this content out weekly. I know like a lot of people won't listen to the whole thing, but just imagine they're seeing your content every week. It's like a constant reminder of your brand. It's like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
heard about this
Juliet and I
podcast
say this
before
all the
that.
time, right? That consistent and constant,
Mhm.
like that's a comfort zone for people. When I
Yeah.
can count on like the news every night, or you count on things that happen every single day or every single week, people find a comfort zone in that. And so being consistent about that is really important. So being able to schedule and do things like that you've got built in here and in the model of repurposing, you're really being able to do that even if you can't go live that day.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and then if you do Instagram, or even if you don't do Instagram, you can start doing Instagram. You want to get the videos into the vertical format
So
for Instagram
that little one,
TV.
there, it looks like there's two Instagram icons down there, and everybody, for you guys, one is that Instagram. I'm going to call it the TV, or
Yeah,
IGTV. Yeah, that's what that symbol is, and then the other one is your typical Instagram. So you have both ability to use both of them through your system, and through the idea is that Instagram TV, and I've been told at a top level at Instagram that it is highly underutilized by especially women out there. So if your women are listening, there's not enough women posting great content on IGTV. So it is getting higher circulation right now. So it's a great time to start that, because not enough people are utilizing it in a really good, valuable content way. So great time to jump on and do it.
Yeah, and the beauty of IGTV is you get past that 1 minute limit. Instagram's 1 minute, 60 seconds. That's all you can do. IGTV, you can do up to 10 minutes for most people. And the bonus is once you put on IGTV, you can have it turn on a checkbox on Instagram, and like when you upload the video, and basically it tells you, hey, share it to all my followers on IG. So to your followers on Instagram followers, they're scrolling their feed, they're going to see your video. They're going to see the first 60 seconds. And if they're engaged, a little thing just pops up and say, hey, you want to keep watching? Click here. And it takes them right to the IGTV video. Instagram does all that for you. You don't have to do anything. So just by posting on IGTV, you basically get your double dipping. You get IGTV exposure, but you also get your followers on your feed will also get exposed to the same video in one shot. So it's a bonus. So you should definitely do an IGTV, and don't worry about Instagram because it's covered. It's a 2-for-1 deal.
You get a 2-for-1. I love that. Right? Hey, we're getting more value from the content, right?
Love it once, and it's on 2 platforms.
Well, and then if you're already selecting down the 10-minute segment, so like that kind of under 10-minute segment, that's perfect for LinkedIn, which is in your next bucket over on the side there.
Exactly.
Because that's the right size for LinkedIn as well.
That's right. So you can do square, or you can do square, or you can do horizontal. I don't know if you can do vertical. I think you can do vertical on LinkedIn.
I think it cuts off a little bit, but it's close. Yeah.
I found from my personal testing that square works and looks more like normal or natural on both mobile and desktop. If you do it square, like it's almost like square. I don't want to say it's ideal. It's just my personal opinion, but it just looks the most natural on LinkedIn on both desktop and mobile. So, if you have the option to do square, I would do square for both actually Twitter and LinkedIn as well. And same thing, each one's got their limits. LinkedIn is, like you said, it's 10 minutes. So that matches Instagram. So that works well. Twitter is 2 minutes, 20 seconds. So you really got to hone down to a small clip. But the good thing is you can make, 3, 4, 5 clips from a single podcast, or 10. There's no limit on how many little clips you can make out of one single podcast episode.
Right. And now, this is the thing that we get a lot of people out there who are like, that's too much work just to figure out what clip. And so, but this is something where I can tell you from time and again, and I've hired a lot of team over the years, right? I mean, everyone out there who listens to the show regularly knows I have a 55-person team. So like there's team members who could do this. At the end of the day, I still find that the clip that I would choose is different than the clip that they will choose. And so I love the idea of you being more involved in your selections and choices for the platform, Like for me, that's LinkedIn, right? I'm heavy into LinkedIn. I've been a big LinkedIn user for a long time. It's my voice on LinkedIn. I always choose the clips for LinkedIn. Twitter, I could care less. Anyone could pick those. And so like, and it's going to be 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So it's got to have like some little nugget of wisdom or it's not worth putting out there. Right. But choosing the ones and being selective and building into the process, your choice of that in the area that you care about the most, where you want it to be your voice, spend some time doing that. That is the one thing that you can do that's of great value in the whole process here.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Nobody knows your guest or your own content. If you're doing a solo show, nobody knows it more than you. Right? Even your editor is listening, but they're probably not listening as closely, or they're listening from an editor's perspective, not from necessarily a consumer or a listener's perspective. So you know your content best. I mean, one trick you can do is, as you're recording, if you're doing an interview style, for example, you can run a little stopwatch and just kind of make some rough notes on, I mean, the times won't be exact, but make some rough times on when something interesting happened, or somebody said, your guest said something interesting, or and then it makes it a lot easier to kind of hone down when you pick those clips. You don't have to listen necessarily to the whole thing. You can jump to those times and pick the exact time. So
yeah, I mean, people
make
think
some
that that's a lot of
notes.
work, but you know what reality is that just taking that time to do it while it's happening, it's, I give this lecture to my daughters all the time, right? If you clean up as you go, it's easier,
It's
right? If
easier.
you make
Yes.
notes as you go, it's going to be easier. Now, keeping in mind where you stuck those notes, now that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, notepad sitting here. And
That's right. Keep a general notebook. Exactly. Keep one.
Yeah.
But I discovered that if you turn the timer, you can turn the timer on to Zoom, and it does not appear on the recording if you choose the right feature.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. I'm a big fan of like key takeaways, and we also built in a lot of features in Repurpose that take advantage. Meaning, if you spend the time to, let's say you come up with 4 key takeaways, the timestamps, and you say, let's say 1:00, Tracy shares about repurposing, 2:00. So you come up with those times. All you got to do is put them in your description in your podcast, and our software will automatically make the clips for you ready to go, so that you don't have to go into our tool and just go to the 2-minute mark and do any kind of editing. We make clips already ready for you. And the other bonus is when you upload to YouTube, in the description, YouTube has a feature where if it sees a timestamp, it lets you jump in the video as well to those times. So it all goes back
the only place, guys, I'm just going to say this again, because from our brute force testing of all of these, the only place you really do not want to have a timestamp ever is in your blog post. If you put timestamps into your blog, they treat it like it's a transcript, and your blog post does not get the same circulation as it does as if it has the sort of stylized by blog. So I'm just going to put that out there. This is one of the reasons we have the process we have when we repost everything, when we do transcripts. There's never a timestamp. There's also a never Tracy says, Hani says, right? Like it never says it like that either. Yeah. So those, it will downgrade. You will see less circulation on Google and less ranking on it if your blog post has a timestamp on it. Now, it doesn't mean you can't have some at the bottom, like bullet points or anything like that. That's totally fine. But if it's within the post, don't do it.
Cool. All right. I learned something new. That's awesome.
I always get great tips. Well, this is wonderful. I love this. And so you're utilizing Dropbox, Google Drive. So some tools that people are not always comfortable with, but these are easy to use tools. These are not hard to use, right? So
And
integrate
the reason
them.
is, the reason about Google Drive, you bring a really good point, is we publish to certain platforms, but we can't publish to everywhere. Like, for example, IGTV, we can't directly publish. We recommend using, we're not allowed to publish through our software directly. So there's an amazing tool by Facebook called Facebook Creator Studio. You can basically you can have Repurpose send the video to your Dropbox, and then you can do whatever you want with it. You can upload it on Pinterest, or you can upload it on Vimeo or any platform, or maybe it's upload somewhere where you have a private membership, class that supports videos, or platform that supports, training. The whole idea here is we can make the video for you. Like Repurpose will make it for you and send it to your Dropbox in whatever shape and size that you want.
So then you can do that, share yourself.
It's yours. It's a video MP4 file. You can do whatever magic you want with it. If you want to put it on other platforms, if you want to put it in a private membership area, whatever you want to do with it, it's yours. So we take away the pain of making the video, and we'll just here, like, here you go. It shows up in your Dropbox. You can do what you want with it.
Well,
So
unshare your screen now, honey, so we can see your face and
yeah.
make sure you close this out. So, I'm really excited that you came on at this point, because I think this is like, people feel like they're in a little stress situation right now in their businesses, and they're a mad dash to like create new and do things with it. And reality is you've got a tool where they could really repurpose things that they have already created. They can use it as a system to going forward. And this is a great time to get in and build a system in for yourself, so that right now you do the setup, because you got a little extra time on your hands. You're not attending an event like Honey and I just were at, and it's the first time we actually met in person. We know about each other from the industry, but we just met at PodFest in person. And you're like coming off of that, and you're like, takes me a couple weeks to get like back in the gear of everything. And then I'm on to the next event. And so for the first time, I'm like, wow, I'm crossing stuff off my list and getting some systems in place. Now's a great time to do the setup, so that when you get busy again, the system's working for you.
That's brilliant. Absolutely. This is the best time to set things up and test them, make sure they're things go where they go and you like the way they look. And then you're good to go. And our system has modes of automatic mode. We also have manual mode, and we just released a schedule mode as well. So you can now schedule content on any day of the week that you want, or any
awesome. I love scheduling.
Yeah. So you have so much flexibility. And also, I didn't show this in the screenshot, but we have another screenshot on our site. But the idea is, I showed you when you start with audio what you can do with it. You can do the same exact thing by starting with video. So meaning upload a video to your Facebook page, give it a nice title, even turn on the free transcriptions on Facebook. And then we can do some really cool magic by making all kinds of videos for you and posting them to social for you. So whether you have already content on Facebook that you want to repurpose, or you want to take videos off your hard drive, there's so many things you can do. Don't worry about creating new content. Spend some time setting these systems up and go back to your archives and repurpose some stuff you've already created. It's much faster to pick a 2-minute clip from a video than to go and shoot and record and edit a whole brand new video.
That's right. Absolutely. Well, I'm so glad you came on and talked with us all about this today. And I want to make sure everybody can reach out to you. So as soon as the video ends, I'm going to, of course, go in and type into the chat and everything. So you'll have all the links to get to Hani Moura, to repurpose.io, which is the best place to go. They've got some great little diagrams, videos, like screenshots, like he's showing you, like of ways that you can utilize and understand it. And the system is not hard to learn. I don't want you to feel freaked out by it. Like, oh gosh, I got to go learn another whole system. Like, it walks you through everything that you need to set yourself up. It's not hard at all. And you guys have a great support team too. I mean, Juliet has raved about that. So.
Awesome. Yeah, we have training videos as well. We're improving, right? As more people get feedback, we realize we're missing something, crank out a new video, put in our training site, and we have a Facebook group as well. Yeah, we're here to support you. I mean, the team is here to support you. I mean, I'm glad. I appreciate the opportunity to come here and talk about repurpose. Well, talk about repurposing in general.
Yeah, that's right.
And talk about it all night. My favorite topic.
Well, we're going to be, Juliet and I were just planning the rest of the month and the upcoming next month. And I was just looking at this calendar schedule and wow, next week we're going to talk about bots gone wild. We were talking about, that, sometimes automation can go bad. And that's when you're not building relationships, right? We were just talking about that, honey. We were talking about, like, if you're in LinkedIn or your place is Twitter or your place is Facebook, start being yourself there, right? And that's not a place for you to be utilizing the automation and bots. What you're talking about doing is repurposing and moving you someplace else. That's an okay bot. We want the ones, though, that are talking back to people to be, useful, like not gone wild. So that's what we're talking about next week. And then we have got some great things coming up in April. We've got things about course overloads, doing too many courses, and why you guys aren't, you've bought a lot of courses over the last year or more, and you guys aren't using them. So start taking your courses out there. So we've got that. We're going to have a whole bunch of people coming on. We're going to have a group of people coming on to talk about pivoting. And then we have some fun things as we get toward later in the month, of some fun ideas and interesting ideas for how you can keep marketing and keep yourself off that marketing roller coaster. Because if you get into this place where you just scale back everything and you get contract right now, you're going to be creating a place by which you don't rebound later. And so we know this, we call it the marketing roller coaster, and it's where you get really busy or you get very contracted and you don't do any marketing, any outreach. And when you don't do that, you will find yourself with a revenue dip. And so that's a real danger right now in this time and with everything going on. So we want to make sure we're keeping doing it. And that's where you guys scheduling out, using the repurpose, and you're forcing yourself to not get too busy that you forget to do stuff. So I love that. I'm so glad that you added that feature, because that scheduling could reduce other softwares that we use out there. So now we can consolidate in one place. So really excited about that, Hani. So thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Everyone, I'll make sure all the links are in the post. Juliet will be back with me next week. And it will be Marketing Monday Mixer again. Yay! Thanks, everyone. I have to just leave the meeting.